our vision really is to build, a digital asset and portfolio analysis platform for the retail investors. So the next billion people, so everyday mum and dad investors, we want to build a platform where they can learn, improve their portfolio, understanding what they're investing into, and really just help them build a good portfolio, because there's just so much, as you would know, so much crap out there. Like, a lot of people only listen to the influencers and TikTokers and just a lot of crap. So we're trying to build, simple but research-backed, analysis and insights to help the everyday person. And that's really our mission at the moment.
Hey everybody, Tanner here with WAGMI Ventures. On today's podcast, we have Ben Simpson, founder and CEO of Collective Shift. For anyone who's new, this is the WAGMI Ventures podcast, where we do company snapshots with interesting founders from across Web3. Check out wagmiventures.io to learn more about the syndicate behind the podcast. But for now, let's get into it with Ben from Collective Shift. All right. Today we have Ben Simpson from Collective Shift. Ben, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Tanner. How are you, man?
Doing good, man. Doing really good. I'm really excited to chat with you about this. I want to get into Collective Shift and a lot about Collective Shift, but I'm curious just a little more about your story and kind of how you got to what you're working on now.
Yeah, cool. So I grew up in a small country town in Tasmania, Australia. So Tasmania is a little island below Melbourne, if anyone's ever been there. And I grew up in a pretty, low socioeconomic sort of family. We didn't have a lot of money growing up. I'm the oldest of three siblings, and from an early age, I always had sort of this drive of entrepreneurship and wanting to make some money and sort of figure things out on my own. So my earliest recognition of being an entrepreneur was selling finger paintings outside my house when I was 8 years old on the street for a dollar. The old lemonade stand sort of stuff. And then, as I went through school, I'd run a range of different businesses, from iPhone repair businesses to events to custom sportswear to all sorts of different stuff. I was a sport basketball referee there for 7 years, and probably the first success I had was the custom sportswear business, or manufacturing garments out of China and Pakistan and selling them to sporting teams in Tasmania. Grew that to sort of mid six figures when I was 15, and then quit school when I was 17, convinced mum and dad I was making enough money to let me quit school because it wasn't for me. And as I was in that process, sort of just stumbled across Bitcoin from a little bit of my own research. Friends sort of introduced it as well back then. And then also, I was sending a bunch of money over to China from Australia and just losing a shitload of money on, conversion fees and all sorts of stuff. So then came across Bitcoin, and that was the first real oh my goodness sort of moment. And for the next 6 months, I went on this journey of trying to understand, first of all, Bitcoin, right? So I was, I love entrepreneurship, but I wasn't exactly book smart. I wasn't the smartest kid on the block. So trying to get my head around Bitcoin at 17 was super difficult. So during that process, lost a bunch of money, made a bunch of money, made so many mistakes, but fundamentally believed that this was just going to be massive. So I sold my sportswear business and then went all in on crypto. Started working for a crypto education business back in 2017. I was running operations there and sort of running the team and doing a bit of marketing and finance and the startup stuff, just a bit of everything. And absolutely loved it. But I always sort of had this dream of being able to build a platform of my own where I could help more people on a more global scale in crypto through education, analysis, research. So that's where Collective Shift was born. And basically the vision for Collective Shift is to be a global recognized crypto education and analysis company. We launched back in October 2020, so we've been around for just under 2 years now, and we've been able to help over 10,000 people through our platform. So we basically have a SaaS product, so people subscribe for analysis and research, and our vision really is to build a digital asset and portfolio analysis platform for the retail investors. So the next billion people, so everyday mum and dad investors, we want to build a platform where they can learn, improve their portfolio, understanding what they're investing into, and really just help them build a good portfolio, because there's just so much, as you would know, so much crap out there. Like, a lot of people
Sure.
only listen to the influencers and TikTokers and just a lot of crap. So we're trying to build, simple but research-backed, analysis and insights to help the everyday person. And that's really our mission at the moment.
Yeah. No, I I actually love that. I mean, it's such a funny question to ask anyone in kind of crypto Web3 world. Like, how did you learn about this, right? Because it's there's so many different stories and there's so many different avenues for learning. But at least in my experience, it often starts with someone you stumble across it on the internet. But the formal education piece for kind of the everyday person, like you mentioned, it seems so crucial, right? Like there's, especially as like a trustworthy source that's kind of on your team. I can totally see the value of that. I mean, presently, and then also just continue to increase as adoption increases over time.
100%. And I think who you listen to when you first come in is so paramount, right? Like if you unfortunately fall into the bucket of like listening to like one influencer that's constantly promoting like random altcoins and you don't know that he's being paid to promote it. And you sort of like all of a sudden you end up with this portfolio of like a bunch of crappy altcoins, right? You're probably going to lose a shitload of money. And so I think everyone goes, when they come into crypto, I call it the tuition fee. Like everyone's got a tuition fee into crypto. It's either going to be scammed, you're going to make bad investment, you're going to make some sort of mistake, and you just hope that it's not devastating, right? So like we are really trying to be the player or the brand that is the first touch point for newcomers coming into crypto. Now, we don't take people's money. Like we're not an exchange. We just want to help people understand what they're buying and selling, because the exchanges don't do that, right? The exchanges are optimized for trading volume. They want you to buy and sell. They're going to be wiring you up, getting that dopamine going to like make you trade and invest a lot. We're trying to help people make better investments.
Yep. No, I really do love that mission. One thing I'm curious and kind of want to zoom in a little bit on is just what insights about how to understand crypto. What insights helped shape how you've designed Collective Shift, I guess is what I'm asking. Because we've talked a little bit about, I mean, yeah, it depends who you're listening to. It depends who sort of you stumble across at the beginning. But what have you learned so far that's helped shape what you're building that, that's just influenced that product now and then what it's going to turn into?
It's a great question. Transparency, number one. So like everything we do, so we have like what we call our investments, where we invest our own money. Like they're like copy portfolios, but you can't directly copy them. We're, on our platform, we just show you what we're doing with our money. So we have 4 different strategies across NFTs, medium-term investments, long-term investments, and like a beginner portfolio. And we show every single trade or investment on chain. So you can look at our Etherscan address and we show all the research analysis behind it. So that was a really unique thing that our members love, is the ability to actually see transparently every decision we're making, because a lot of the influencers and a lot of YouTubers and a lot of different players in the space tend to, talk about 100 different investments and then, sort of one pops off and that's the only thing they talk about. And then you can't really find what they spoke about previously. And, I think that lack of transparency is actually really, really frustrating and it lacks credibility. So credibility, trust, and transparency for us is paramount. And then second of all is simplicity. So I think one thing that's really lacking in crypto right now is proper UI and UX from the software standpoint and the hardware standpoint. I mean, like, geez, look at a ledger. Like, my God. I think we're going to be looking back in 10 years' time going, oh, my goodness, like how the hell were these guys using this USB thing with, 24 words and you got to plug it in and like all this sort of stuff. So we're trying to build a really simple UI and UX to make a really simple platform where you can plug in your wallets, plug in the assets you own, look at your portfolio, and we can give you customized, personalized insights based on your investment goals, your strategy, and what you own. And we can give you those alerts through building algorithms by pulling on-chain data, sentiment data, historical price data, a range of different APIs and data points to deliver really simple like checklists. So if you plug in and you've got 90% of your portfolio in Shiba and you're wondering why you're not performing the market, well, we're going to rate you like at 10 out of 100, right? And then we can give you 6 things that you should do to work on your portfolio to improve it based on your goals. So we're trying to replicate very similar business models in the stock market world. A company there is called personalcapital.com. It's a pretty big one in the US. It's $1 billion company.
I think you broke up a tiny bit with the name. What was the name?
Oh, sorry, personalcapital.com.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're $1 billion company out of the US, and they basically analyze your stocks and equities, and they get based on your goals and your investments. It can give you a really easy interface on how to improve your portfolio, but also how to stay up to date with those investments. So I haven't seen that in crypto just yet, but we're hearing from our customers and I guess the community that that's what they want. So that's what we're trying to build.
Yeah. Yeah, that's super interesting. What have been some of the challenges associated with this commitment to, transparency, trust, openness? Like, I can imagine it's been, because there's probably one thing off the top of my head would be there's probably more accountability, right? So your team really has to really kind of put in the legwork to figure out, what are we recommending? Does it make sense? Is this a justified? Can we justify doing this with the level of transparency that we've committed to, right?
Exactly.
I'm just curious, anything more about that?
Yes, I guess it's like similar to like right now, like having a fund, right? Like where we're sort of distributing all the information, knowledge about what we're investing into. And when with any sort of analysis and insights, you have to have some sort of like, credibility or like, justification for decisions. But I mean, we've what I think we do really well is we show all of our thought process behind it. So we do, live research calls and we take questions and we sort of give all of our insights analysis to our members. And, we're not going to be right all the time either. So,
Sure.
we admit when we're wrong and showcase why and our learnings. And that's really what our members love, I think, is just the ability to learn with us. Like we're all learning together. And really the vision for us now is moving away from this sort of like, hey, this is our portfolios so you can come and copy them, to more like, hey, let's talk about what in the platform through software. Let's talk about like what you own now, what you're trying to get out of crypto, and then let's help you through software to improve your portfolio and keep you up to date and save you time. So really trying to move away from that, like, hey, these are our top 10 investments, to because that's just too broad, right? Crypto's too, it's like, what stock should I buy? Well, it sort of depends, right? Yeah. So that's what we're heading towards.
Yeah, that's really interesting. What's been the most surprising so far as you've been building Collective Shift? Like what have you learned most about? Because you came into this, relative expert, sounds like, and sometimes it can be challenging to go back to kind of that beginner mindset, right? Mm. So I'm just curious, what's been most surprising as you've been building this?
That I'm not going to say wasting time in Australia, but we've been building the product and just naturally growing organically in Australia. And when I came to the US for 3 months, I was literally blown away. I was like, oh my God, like there's 2 million people that own crypto in Australia and there's 60 million in America. So we have been, indirectly basically building this product in probably no bigger than a test market. Coming to the States, and we've now got 4 guys based in California and doing some speaking events and webinars and, doing a bit more stuff and targeted acquisition over in the States. There is infinite possibility and growth potential, I think, in the US market compared to Australia. Like when I came to America and you talk about crypto, Australia's not even on the map for crypto. In the States, you talk to anyone in like crypto and it's like, oh, where's Australia? But here in Australia, we sort of live in our own bubble. We're like, oh, this is, no one really thinks about, yes, the US has spoken about, the UK has spoken about in crypto, but, being there, boots on the ground, in the flesh, in the crypto space in America, Australia really just doesn't, it doesn't anywhere near compete to the States. So we're really heavily investing into scaling our product. We moved everything to, for example, we were .com.au there for the first 12 months.
Yeah.
Right. So we moved everything to .io, moved everything to USD language, hired a US team, USD pricing, US focused marketing. I'm coming back there next year for a little while, and just seeing a lot more growth and possibility and potential in America, which is, really exciting for us.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I'm curious on that note, just about adjacent opportunities on your roadmap, like 12 months, 24 months. Is there going to be a collective shift DAO? Is there like where are things going?
We've definitely spoken about it. We've spoken about tokenization, spoken about like NFT, gated access membership. For us, we're really focusing right now on building out this personalized dashboard. So we've just launched the first edition of that, where basically you can plug in the assets that you want to track, and then we can give you personalized insights based on those assets. Moving forward, really, we're investing into building out algorithms and a little bit of AI to predict and look at projections for your portfolio. And again, really just that whole personalization aspect. Right now, we're a lot of insights and analysis based on what our analyst teams, we have 4 analysts that create insights and content. We just talk about what we want, what we think is important, but really what our members are screaming for is personalization. So that's what we're really focusing on over the next 6 to 12 months. And then down the line, we're really trying to build on the back end a B2B play as well. So we've been approached by a few crypto exchanges, crypto wallets, tax calculators, all sorts of different existing businesses with customer data that they want insights for their customers. So we're going to be B2C on the front end, selling subscriptions to our product, but then on the back end, really going to try and scale through our B2B side of things. So having a freemium model and or just selling seats to our platform or integrating it into existing companies, as I just mentioned. So yeah, we've got a lot on the roadmap, but our real core focus right now is to build out that core software so we can look to distribute that easier.
Yep. That's super interesting. I'm curious if you have any advice for founders building in Web3, right? This sounds like it's been about a 2-year journey of collective shift, but much longer before. So you've seen kind of the evolutions, the various hype cycles, the different, you've kind of seen, you've seen this for a while, right? And so as you're building collective shift, I'm just curious, any kind of give back advice, any thoughts that would, that you kind of pass along?
Yeah, I think running a crypto startup is pretty close to insanity, I would say, for any sort of founder. It is tough. It is definitely not easy, especially in a bear market. One of the biggest lessons I learned in previous bear markets is that you have to be prepared for the bear market in the bull market. It's like a seasonal business, right? Like if you're selling in Australia, you run a surf shop. Well, for 6 months of the year, you're getting no customers. Now that's an extreme end of the cycle where, it's definitely, better than that in crypto in terms of the amount of people coming in. But what I'm talking about is there is a big difference between a bear market and a bull market. Bear market's for building, and you need to have cash in the bank. You need to really have that roadmap planned out, have that 2 to 3 years worth of runway, really know your roadmap, really know what you're building, have that customer feedback so you can build during that market, during that time. Because if you run into a place where you're coming into the bear market with, zero or little to no cash in the bank, you're really going to struggle because acquisition just naturally is a lot harder in a bear market compared to a bull market. And I'm seeing a lot of, especially if you don't have product market fit, I'm seeing a lot of DAOs and tokenized businesses right now that are just being absolutely, poleaxed in the market because there's really just no interest. No one's really using the product. Yeah. And the bear market hits and everyone sort of just goes and does other stuff. They kind of forget about crypto. Yeah, exactly. So that's probably one of the biggest lessons I've learned being in crypto now, building businesses for 5 or 6 years is you need to understand that there is a period of time where you need to knuckle down and build. And if you need to have money in the bank to keep the lights on.
Yep, definitely. So maybe one last question. I'm just curious about the stakes here. So, education for the people might be one way of putting it, right? Broadening crypto adoption, making it easier for people to understand how to make good decisions in crypto. So what happens if collective shift wildly succeeds, right? Say it's 5 years down the road and everything's gone great. What does that world look like for collective shift?
My dream is that collective shift, is really a global trusted leader in education, insights analysis. We have a couple of million, users that subscribe to our platform. We're integrated in a lot of the major crypto exchanges as an insights provider, and really just leading the forefront of being able to help crypto become really adopted by this like early majority, like this next cycle of the tech cycle. That's my mission. That's my dream. I really think we can do it. I think we've got an amazing team. But brought on a couple of really great guys recently in our exec team. Got a team of 12. We're backed by some really good investors in Australia, and I really think we can do it. It's gonna be hard work, but and then hopefully a nice little exit down the line where we can take everything we've learned and then take our mission and grow it even bigger. So that's the 5 to 10 year roadmap. Easy said than done, but exciting time.
No, it's really exciting though. I mean, there's just so much activity and excitement in the space, and even in kind of bear market times, right? Like it's not going to be a bear market forever, and what you're doing is only going to become more relevant to more people. So I think it's really cool that you're working on what you're working on. So if people want to follow along for the journey, where do they find you? Where do they find Collective Shift?
Yeah, so to check out our product, you can head over to collectiveshift.io. That's our website and our product. You can check everything out there. I also run a weekly podcast with my chief product officer, Bergs. It's called the Ben and Bergs Show, or Ben and Bergs podcast, where we just talk about building a Web3 startup. We talk about crypto investing every week. That's super fun. It's been really fun doing that. And a lot of people are sort of tuning in on that, on the Web3 crypto sort of startup journey. And then I'm also on Twitter. If I'm on Twitter, I'm Ben Simpson AU. You can send me a message or send me a follow there. And I love to chat crypto. I love to travel around. I'm sort of constantly traveling, and I'm in Singapore at the moment and spoken at an event yesterday. I love meeting new people, love chatting crypto, and love a beer. So if we're ever in person, Tanner, we'll definitely have to catch up.
Definitely. Well, Ben, thank you so much. This was awesome, and I think people are going to be really excited about it, and really grateful for your time. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it, man. See ya.
All right, take care.